Alrighty, so it's time to go off book with 6mm arc again. Now, I experimented really lightly with Reloader 17 when I first got the 6 arc with the 108 ELD match, and we were about 2,700 feet per second with no pressure signs and looked like a decent load, but I never tried it again, and so we're back to try again. Now, Reloader 17 is not listed in anywhere that I can find for 6mm arc, so we're going off book. Don't follow this advice, just kind of wanted to run a test here. So what we're going to do is I ran 30.4 grains the last time with the 108 ELD, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to run 10 shots at 30.2 grains of Reloader 17. Now, these hit the lands of my rifle at 2.240, so we're going to go ahead and shoot these about 10 thousandths off the lands at 2.230. Now, this is 5x fired brass, so I'm not real concerned about tearing this brass up, but you'll find out that our velocities are a little crazy, and this probably wasn't the best idea. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to load up 10 shots. We're going to shoot 5 of them at 100 yards, and we're going to shoot 5 of them at 200 yards all over our lab radar, and we're just going to go ahead and see what our velocities are and see how they group. Again, I'm predicting, and Gordon's reloading tool is predicting about 2,700 feet per second, but obviously we'll find out. So let's get on the range and let's see how Reloader 17 does. All right, we're out here on the range. This is my 22-inch Savage 110 switchback, chambered in 6mm arc, 22-inch barrel. Currently the target's at 100 yards. The gun is cool, and we're shooting Reloader 17 and the 105 bullet to hollow point. Getting velocity through our lab radar, we should be right around 2,700 feet per second, and we're obviously shooting off our Atlas bipod and rear back. Arkin SH4 6-24 optic. All right, so we're going to do 5 shots at 100 yards, and then we're going to go ahead and move our target cam and go to 200 yards, assuming everything goes okay. It's a nice day, a little bit of a breeze from behind, and it's about 50 degrees or 45 degrees, something like that. So pretty pleasant day to shoot. Go ahead and make a new series, and I'm just going to go all 10 shots on the same series here. All right, first shot here. We'll see how close we were at predicting our velocity at 2,700. $2,800. So that's probably not good. The brass actually doesn't look all that bad, but that's scary fast. Against my better judgment, we'll go ahead and shoot another one. Bolt lift's okay. The brass looks okay. There's a little bit of an ejector smear. And surprisingly, this brass looks okay. All right, so surprisingly at almost 2,800 feet per second, we didn't tear up any of our brass. Let me go ahead and I'll go set the target up at 200 yards. All right, so I just moved the target to 200 yards and I clicked up 5/10. We were a little low with our 0, and we're gonna get a little drop for being at 200 yards. So that should get us close to the paper there. Now, we are pretty scary with our velocity here, so hopefully these next 5 don't cause us any trouble, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So we'll go ahead and shoot 5 at 200 yards. Now, there is a bit of mirage. It's a pretty sunny day, and we're shooting over a bunch of old grass, so there is a bit of mirage, but I think we'll be able to do okay here with our holds, and we'll just see how these do at 200 yards. All right, first one at 200 yards. The gun has sat for maybe 5 or 7 minutes. Like we hit low and to the left there, but that really should be fine. Breeze is picking up a little bit. All right, and last one at 200 yards. All right, so the Mirage is actually so bad I could just barely see, I think, where some of those hit. And it looks, from my angle, looks kind of like they grouped together, so can't tell if there's one that hit up there in the, up there by the orange dot or not. So let's get over there, and obviously you see the velocity on the screen. Really hot for 6 arc, but let's check out the targets. All right, so taking a look at the group on the left, that is our 5-shot group at 100 yards. We averaged a .70 inch group, and we were a little bit low and to the right, which that's not a big deal, but looked like they were trying to group. Now moving over to the 5-shot group at 200 yards, we shot a 1.69 inch group. Now again, there was a lot of Mirage kind of at the 200 yard target, so maybe that's why this group increased a little bit. But, you know, if you do the math on this, they're almost the same group if you convert it over to MOA for distance. Now, our 10-shot velocity average was 2801 feet per second with a 12.0 SD. So 2801, that's kind of scary fast for this combination. Again, I was hoping to get about 2700 feet per second, but obviously 2800 is what we got here. So crazy fast for 6mm arc. Now, interestingly, we'll take a look at our brass, and it doesn't look that bad. Alrighty, so surprisingly, as you look at our pieces of brass here, I tried to pick the ones that look the worst. There's a couple little ejector smears on a few of these pieces of brass, but I can't seem to catch them on video here. So apparently they're not very deep. Now you can also see a little bit of cratering with our primers there, which that doesn't always happen in my 6mm arc, but oftentimes we do get a little bit of cratering. The primers aren't terribly flat, so honestly, this doesn't seem near as concerning as what it did on the range whenever I was shooting and we were getting 2,800 feet per second. Now, I still think it'd be a good idea to back off of these loads. At a minimum, we've got to be somewhere near max, and I don't like to run that hot, especially when we're going off book. So realistically, I could probably back this off maybe a half grain, lose about 50 feet per second, and run these about 2740, 2750, and they should be pretty happy. So it looks like Reloader 17 is going to show some promise if you're just going for max velocity in the 6mm arc. I hope you guys enjoyed this weird test with 6mm arc. I'm going to try some of the other powders that people don't use in 6mm arc. Maybe Stayball 6.5, maybe H4350, just to kind of do some tests and see if they'll work. I know they're probably not optimum, but what fun would testing be if you don't try things that people say won't work? So hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you next time.